Hey everyone, Dr. Kory and my lovely assistant, Sarah, are going to go over the Fab5. We promised you this video during our stretch class, so here it is. So we'll go over the Fab5, so you guys at home, if you need to kind of resort back to some how-to, this will be it. Okay, so we'll go through the basic Fab5. We'll also do some videos to cover some of the other stretches that we went over. But let's start with the Fab5. So number one, pecs. We're going to do the pec one with Sarah since she's a little more flexible. We're going to do her lying down. If you guys remember from the stretch seminar, the one way to do it was stand behind them and just come and pull those elbows back. You can only get so far with that one, so then we'll progress to the next one. So that's what we're going to do with Sarah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that arm. Hopefully you can see this. You know what? Let's use this side. I think you can see it better in the camera. So we're going to come into this arm right like this. We're going to open her up, okay? Pec goes from humerus right over to here. So what we're doing is we're going to stretch the pec out. Pec gets tight on everybody, pulls us forward, pulls the shoulders for us. We got to open that up. So what we're doing is we're putting her in this position, and then what I'm going to have her do is go ahead and push up towards me for a 4-second count, and then release, and then shut it off and exhale. Watch that arm go back. Beautiful. It's magic. That's breaking up adhesions. That's stretching the fascia. That's increasing range of motion in her body. Go ahead and push again. Shut it off. Beautiful. There you go. This is going to be an apprehensive one in the shoulder, guys, so just really go slow and steady. All we're doing is putting a little extra pressure as our partner just kind of lets go, deep breathes, and exhales. Very good. Okay, so that was the pec stretch very quickly. The next one we're going to do is the suboccipitals. Okay, so with upper cross, we talked about this in the stretch class. With upper cross, we do this. Boom, okay? Head comes forward, and you're always looking up. That's why everybody, when they're on my chiropractic table, when I'm adjusting them, and I get up in here and I work that, everybody's like, man, why is that so tight? Well, it's tight because it's literally on the minute you get out of bed. It's tired. Okay, so we got to get in here, break up those adhesions. Okay, that's why it's so important for your guys' even your maintenance adjustments to get in here, break adhesions, break adhesions, break adhesions. That's going to keep us from aging, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come under, and I'm going to take my fingertips, and I'm going to kind of cup right underneath this occipital ridge, okay? So it's right here on the, as you feel your skull down, and it stops, that's where these suboccipital muscles are hooking to. So what we're going to do is we're going to cup under here. And at first, guys, your heads are going to be like that. You're going to be looking to the ceiling when you lay on your back. That's when you know you have a problem. So we want to open that up. So I'm going to cup that suboccipital, and then Sarah's going to go ahead and look up at me. I'm going to resist it a little bit. She's going to exhale and shut it off. Boom. And I just traction out. This is a lovely one. Go ahead and do that again. And then shut it off and exhale. Good. See how she's getting taller? Okay, that's what everybody says after adjustment. Oh, man, I feel like I'm an inch taller. Yeah, you actually are. Breaking up adhesions, increasing normal function. One more. Shut it off. Good. Okay, so that's coming up in here. This is the headache one. This is where headache, chronic sinuses, ear infections, all of that, TMJ, all that kind of stems from that upper tightness in the occipitals. And tightness is like a weed. It just wraps around and starts hitting the jaw. Affects, like I said, lymphatic drainage, all of those things. So that occipital ridge is a nice one. And it's all about deep breathing. When we stretch, breathe. So many people will hold their breath, all right? No, this is an opportunity to get out of that stress response that we've been in all day, every day. Shut it off. Let the body's parasympathetics turn on, which is rest and digest, and recover and regrow. Okay, so those are two. Third, this is the hard one that people have been having with wanting me to show them. So we're going to go ahead and put the leg down. The next one is hips. Tight hips lead to low back pain. Hips are super tight on people, and that's what we spend a lot of our time on, just trying to loosen up so that we can get pressure off the low back. So hips, tight hips are doing this. Okay? And rotation happens in the hips. So as you walk, that's where your rotation happens. So if your hips are tight, you'll become a penguin. All right? Nobody wants penguins walking around, okay? Say no to penguins. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to put a little external rotation into it. So I'm coming right into this leg. My body is right here, okay? Where people go wrong a lot of times on this is they try to do it back here. It's way too hard, plus you're not going to have the right angles. So get in here, and put it right, I put it right on my chest, right here, okay? And now I'm in control. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive, I'm gonna move forward and keep the same distance, but I'm gonna drive this knee to that shoulder. So I literally just put my elbow on here, and we're coming in, okay? Go ahead and push, and shut it off. Again, and shut it off. Smooth, relax, easy. Notice how quiet this is. You guys at home are probably, hey, that's too much. Oh, don't do that. A lot of verbiage at first, which is okay. But eventually you get to the point where it's enjoyable and it's controlled and you'll figure it out. It's an art. Go and push again. Shut it off. Good. She's feeling it right here, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so right in the glute, right on the side there is where it should be. If you're starting to feel it in the front, we're binding it up. We'll need to come back and just and start at a different angle, and then until we get that out, and then we'll be able to come across, okay? But you might have to switch it up. I don't want to burn in the front. If it's a burn, let me know on your appointments or email me or whatever. We'll kind of work through that, okay? So we'll do both of those. Holding, push for 4 seconds, a release for 20 with an exhale. Okay, so now it's number 3, done. The fourth one we're going to open up. Okay, so we're going to come into the pelvis like this and do the inside of the hip. So I put it right on my hip right here. Okay, all I'm going to do is just walk up like this. All right, simple, 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 simple. Notice when I do that, her pelvis has a tendency to want to come off of it. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to hold that down. Okay, so I stabilize that down. Now I'm really focusing on the inner hip. Okay, so what's going to happen is she's going to push up to my hand and into my pelvis. She's all giggles right now.
It's so sore. I need this.
And then push again. Shut it off.
It's the uncomfortable giggle.
The uncomfortable giggle. Okay, and then up, and then shut it off. There. Notice I slowed down a little bit. She's getting a little apprehensive, so the partner will shut you out, okay? And what that happens is it just won't go anywhere. So at that point, the stretcher needs to just slow down and let them get control where they're less apprehensive.
It's when you're talking.
Push again. Here. Shut it off. Relax. Okay, so, and then doing both sides. Now we're going to do hip flexors. That's one of the biggest things we get because we sit all day. Hip flexors become shortened. So there's 2 ways to do hip flexors. I'm just going to show one today, the easiest one. So let's go face down. So, well, I shouldn't say the easiest one. It's actually the hardest one, but it's the best. Okay, so now hip flexors are, and you can kind of test each other on seeing where hip flexor flexibility is. So let's watch this. So I'm going to stabilize the pelvis. Go ahead and lock and lift your leg. Okay, so there it is, other side. Okay, so not terrible, we can improve on that, all right? Sometimes guys, they'll be able to get it off about like this far. Okay, that's how tight people's hip flexors are, so we gotta improve that. So what we're gonna do is bring this leg up. Notice, look at her quads. Quads are amazing, okay? Heel can touch the buttock, great quad mobility, all right? Some guys will be stuck here. That's how tight quads are. I'll work on moving quads out first before I get into the hip flexor, okay? So how to move quads out, you'll go ahead and push, shut it off, and you'll go a little further, okay? With her, she's there. There's no need to stretch that, okay? So now, hip flexors. I'm going to come in right here. I put the leg on my shoulder, and then my hand's underneath the leg. Now watch. If I do this, she's going to have a tendency to want to lift that pelvis up. So I'm going to have to stabilize that down. A lot of times, I'll just take my elbow and just do my whole forearm across that pelvis to keep it to the ground, okay? Now what we'll do, she'll go ahead and push towards the table, shut it off, watch this, boom, okay? She's feeling that in the front, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's gonna push again, shut it off, oh yeah. Okay, now it's gonna start moving from her leg up almost into her abdomen because we're bringing in some of those deep core muscles. Push again, shut it off. There it is. Okay, beautiful. Always do both sides in all your stretches, but that is the core 5, okay? I'm going to do one more video after this, and we'll go through thoracic rotation. That gets super tight on everybody. It's an important area because that's where your lungs and your ribs and all that. And we sit at a desk. We're rigid. half the time we're seeing, 40, 50 people a day of just moving thoracic spines, okay? Keeping motion in these ribs, keeping the spine mobile so we're not degenerative, decaying, breaking down. And that's the important part. And that's why, I always say something is better than nothing. I don't care. At least once a month, get in here, get adjusted. It doesn't cost much. It'll keep you moving. It'll help keep you young. So that is the Fab5. All right, stay tuned.